The Prescott, Arizona real estate market stats for October are hot off the press. And if you're a homeowner here in Prescott, I think you're going to be surprised to see what happened to the median sales price. So let's get into it. But before we do that, I'm Brent Wofford, Arizona's rad realtor with Keller Williams Arizona Realty, located here in beautiful northern Arizona. Let's dive into the latest real estate market stats for Prescott, Arizona for October of 2023. Ha, almost said 2022 there. All right, so starting off, we're looking at the number of homes for sale on the market. When I say these are October stats, we are in the beginning of November. Today is actually November 2nd. So we're looking at the data that just got finalized on October 31st. So as of last month, we were looking at 515 homes were on the market at the end of last month. The highest we've seen so far this year was July with 530. So since July, we've had a little bit of a decrease in supply. So that's what we're looking at, supply homes. Supply, but really it hasn't been much. I mean, if you look at the data for the last 3 years, we're looking at 2021 is in black, 2022 is in gray. You know, when rates started going up, we started seeing inventory come up, we'll level off, you know, August, September, October last year, kind of dipped down November, December for our seasonal decline, then pop back up, you know, in July of this year, and we've kind of remained steady since. Where it's going to go from here, no one has a crystal ball. We don't know. But what we do know is that historically, inventory's dropped off towards the end of the year and then picks back up, you know, starting in May, June. Comparing to October of last year, there are actually 51 more homes for sale in the market right now. So if you are a buyer thinking about buying in Prescott, Arizona, you have more to choose from now than you did last year. 10% more to be exact. Moving on, let's talk about supply in months. So we just talked about supply, the hard number at 515 homes on the market. Now, how does that translate when we factor demand in there? So what we're doing is we're taking the number of houses of 515 and then dividing that by the number of sales for last month, and that gives us 4.25 months or 4.25 months of inventory. Why does this even matter, you might ask, right? Unless you've seen one of these videos before and you know where I'm going with this, you might not. The reason we do the translation of this of supply versus demand, giving us 4.25 months for October, is that we use this to gauge what kind of market we are in. What we like to see on average is somewhere between 5 and 7 months of inventory. Perfect world would be right at 6 months of inventory. You know, historically, that tells us that we are in what we call a balanced market, you know, or a fair market at that 5 to 7 month window. Right now, we are just under 5 months, like I said, at 4.25 months, which has remained pretty steady. You can see since July, you know, it's gone up or down just a little bit, but really the market's starting to flatten out. And inventory or supply is staying relatively the same. What does this mean? It means that we are still technically in a seller's market because we have less than 5 months supply of inventory, but we are nowhere near the seller's market that we saw in 2021, which is the black line that's on this graph right here. You can see if you follow my cursor, we were hovering around that 1 month of supply line, almost up to 2, back down to 1, you know, all the way through 2021. And then finally we crested in May of 2022. We crested that 2 month supply, but this was all meant we had a housing shortage for the number of buyers that wanted to buy. And that's why we had the crazy bidding wars. Houses were selling over list price. I mean, you name it, it was chaos back then. If you were a buyer or a seller too, it was kind of chaos on the good side. If you were a seller, unless you weren't expecting your house to sell quickly, you know, they sold pretty quick. But yeah, getting back to today's stats, 4.25 months of supply means we are heading towards this balanced market line of 5%, but we're not quite there yet. Still technically in a little bit of a seller's market, but it feels pretty balanced. Prescott, Arizona sales price. So this is what I was talking about at the intro of the video, median sales price. The median sales price for last month was $592,500. And the reason I'm saying median and not average is because in Prescott, Arizona, we do have quite a bit of homes that sell for over $1 million. And we also have fixer-uppers that are being bought by investors that are below market value. So when you take both of those out and you look at the price of the house that was right in the middle of all the sales that had happened, right here smack dab in the middle, it gave us $592,000 for last month, which was up significantly from September, which was at $512,500. When we were doing this market update last month in September, or last month at the beginning of October for September's numbers, we were pretty astonished to see how big of a dip we went, because in August we were at $618,000 for the median sales price, down to $512,000. That was more than a $100,000 dip from August to September. And to be honest with you, I was a bit nervous. And so was my co-host last month, Greg, was a bit nervous. We were like, we don't know if this is a new trend for Prescott, if it's just going to drop off a cliff from here, and kind of go in with some of the other major metros that are having sharp price declines because of having too much inventory, too much supply. Thankfully, Prescott, you can rest assured, median sales price jumped back up in October. So September was an anomaly. It was an outlier on the chart. I still don't know why it was at 512. The only thing I can think of is that, we had a lot more houses at the lower price point sell in September than we saw in August and October. But that's just a guess. But anyways, 592,500, more on par with the trend that we've been seeing in Prescott, hovering around this 600,000 mark. June was 588, July 620, August 618. So we've been right there hovering around that 600,000 mark for the median sales price here. How does that stack up from last year? If you are a homeowner, and we are just talking about the median sales price, we are at a 2% increase year over year, which is under the inflation numbers. So, home values aren't even staying up with inflation right now. However, I would rather have it be that than what we saw in September continue to go down and decrease and lose equity for those of us who own homes here in Prescott, Arizona. Number of sales. So this is actual buyer demand. We saw 127 sales last month. And what that means is we're not seeing the number of sales in Prescott fall off a cliff yet, which is good. Even though rates did crest the 8% mark, we were really thinking October was going to be a down month on sales. And month over month, we just went down very slightly. You can see since July, we went up a little bit in August, tapered back down in September, staying flat here in October. The record that we had was 195 sales in 2021 at the peak of craziness, crazy real estate pandemonium in June of 2021. 195 was our record. This year, we actually had more in June than we did last year in June. That was surprising for the year, but yeah, we are now 127 compared to last year. That was only 15 less homes that got sold, or 15 less buyers that purchased their home here in Prescott, Arizona year over year. Now, this is a super important slide and stat that a lot of you who are actively in the real estate market, what I mean by that is that if you are sellers with your home on the market right now, or you are thinking about putting your home on the market, or you're a buyer not quite under contract yet, you really need to pay attention to this. 97.9% was the average price a home closed escrow for last month versus what it was actually on the market listed sales price for. What does that mean? That means that there was an average of a 2.1% discount from list price to what it actually closed for. That is more of a sign of a buyer's market than it is of, a seller's market, even though technically based on the numbers we're in a seller's market. When I said earlier, it feels more like a buyer's market. Sellers are working with buyers right now to make it a win-win deal. And that's what we like to see in a balanced market. Sometimes win-win means that a discount is going to be given on the house, or sometimes it doesn't mean a discount. Sometimes it means that a buyer needs help with some closing costs and some concessions. So they're going to ask the seller, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm not going to ask you for a discount on your house, but I would like you to put 2% of the purchase price into an escrow account for me to help me pay my lender fees, my escrow and title fees, and in some cases, my realtor fees. So we are seeing signs of a balanced market with that, which is nice. It's actually really nice to get to a balanced market. It makes deals feel fair for both sides, buyers and sellers. This has kind of been the trend this year, though. You can see the white bars for every month have been below the 100% mark. You know, really 2021 was nuts. Like I had said earlier, we were seeing houses, 101% of the sales price, 100% of the sales price, 100% of the sales price. In 2022, we hit a record of 102% of sales price. Anything over 100% means the house actually sold for more than it was listed for on the MLS. So, yeah, translating that 2.1% discount I'm talking about over here on average for last month in October, if you take the median sales price for October and times it and take 2.1% of that, it actually gives you 12 grand. So on average, I can say that, buyers were getting a $12,400 discount off of the list price on homes last month. Days on market. So as of last month, we were looking at 52.2 days on market average. At the peak of crazy pandemonium sales in 2021, the lowest we hit was 19 days on market. So we're, over that by 23 days? Sorry, 33 days on market. We're at 52. The beginning of this year, though, was the peak that we had hit, which was 74 days on market. So houses were taking a long time to sell back in March of this year, dipped down in the summer, and picked back up a little bit. Now it's starting to flatten back out. So sellers, don't get antsy if your house doesn't sell the first week that it's on the market, unless you are purposely pricing it under market value. You're going to be looking at something like this, closer to 52 days on market. Obviously everybody is different. Every house is different. So I can never guess, or any realtor can never guess and say your house is going to sell in exactly, 72 hours or however many hours or however many days being on market, because it's different. Every house is different, right? So, but I can say out of everything that closed last month, the average was 52 days on market, which was 10 days more than we saw last year in 2022, which was at 42 days on market. That's it. So in summary, like I said, we are technically by the numbers in a seller's market, but it really feels like a balanced market right now. Sellers are giving up on concessions to buyers. They're also, or doing discounts or a combo of the two, or throwing in home warranties. We're seeing things get thrown back into the deal that we hadn't seen since pre-COVID. That was really a normal thing for us pre-COVID, was to see seller concessions, a discount, or both, and usually always a home warranty. But yeah, now we're starting to get back to that, which in my opinion as a realtor is nice. It makes it feel fair all the way around. It makes everybody feel like they got to win. The sellers got to win. The buyers got to win. Sellers, prices are not falling. Like last month we saw that anomaly, but really prices aren't falling, and the median sales price here in Prescott is still pretty close to $600,000, which is awesome. So yeah, there's a lot of news out there right now with market predictions. You'll see it all over the headlines on Google and Yahoo and wherever else you get your news from. But the truth is that no one out there has a crystal ball. They don't know for certain what's going to happen in the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, especially with next year coming up being an election year. Typically, there's more chaos to be seen during an election year than there is during non-election years in real estate. I've been through a couple election cycles while being in real estate, and yeah, don't let that stress you out. Don't let that get you scared. And also, like I said, what they're talking about is typically national statistics, not local statistics. One thing that I do know for certain, though, is that every market is different, and it's always best to consult a realtor for insight into your specific town and neighborhood to see what the market is doing there before you make any decisions, right? So if you'd actually like a current market update on your neighborhood, I've included a link down below in the description in YouTube for you to request that. Also in the description, I've included some links to help with other next steps along your real estate journey. And as always, there's no dumb questions in real estate. So please reach out to me directly with any questions and needs that I can assist you with. Again, my name is Brent Wofford, and I'm a realtor here with Keller Williams Arizona Realty in Northern Arizona. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you found value in this update, please, can you do me a huge favor? Smash that like button below and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks again, and I hope you have a rad day.